The Boston Celtics have received a massive and very important update on Jayson Tatum ahead of the All-Star break. This is not speculation, this is concrete progress. After 39 weeks of recovery from an Achilles injury, Tatum participated fully in a 5-on-5 scrimmage on Monday. According to ESPN, he looked great and suffered no setbacks. That alone changes the temperature around this team. Stay with me, because the details matter. And before we go deeper, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the hype button right now, because what we are about to discuss could redefine the Celtics season. This was not a light workout. Tatum shared the court with teammates, two-way players, and G League players in a full competitive environment. Sources with direct knowledge of the session said he moved well, absorbed contact, and handled the pace without visible limitation. That is a critical checkpoint in any Achilles recovery. Still, there are several boxes left to check. Medical clearance is not a single signature. It is a collective decision involving doctors, performance staff, and the player himself. Tatum said he's feeling good, but also made it clear that this was simply the next step in the plan. No promises, no guarantee, just progression. There is another layer here that deserves attention. Former NBA Sixth Man of the Year, Lou Williams, believes that if a player is already in 5-on-5 action, the typical timeline points to roughly 4 weeks from game return. 4 weeks. That projection places enormous focus on the coming stretch. At the same time, Brad Stevens has publicly reinforced that there will be zero pressure from the organization. The message is direct. When he is ready, he is ready. Not before, not after. The franchise wants him 110%, physically and mentally. Now consider the broader impact. The Celtics are 34 wins and 19 losses. Odds makers currently place teams like the New York Knicks, the Detroit Pistons, and the Cleveland Cavaliers ahead in Eastern Conference odds. But if Jayson Tatum returns at full strength, those projections shift immediately. The balance of power changes, the conversation and the urgency increases. So here is the real question as the All-Star break approaches. If Tatum continues to clear every medical and performance threshold over the next few weeks, are we about to witness the moment that transforms Boston from contender to clear favorite in the East? And if that clearance meeting happens sooner than expected, how fast does the pressure return to everyone else? Jayson Tatum is officially progressing toward his return in the 2025-26 NBA season. The organization confirmed he will participate in portions of practice with the main Celtics before being immediately recalled to continue rehab with the main roster. That update creates excitement, but it also creates pressure, because when Tatum comes back, minutes will disappear, and 3 players are clearly at risk inside the Boston Celtics rotation. Let's start with Sam Hauser. He is averaging 24.1 minutes per game and has already started 22 of his first 50 games this season. Without Tatum, Hauser's role expanded. The problem is efficiency. His three-point percentage dropped to 27.5% in November when asked to do more. Hauser is at his best as a specialist, spacing the floor, defending within structure. Extended minutes exposed limitations. When Tatum returns, those minutes will shrink. And from a competitive standpoint, that may be necessary. Now look at Hugo Gonzalez. 15.3 minutes per game in his rookie season is significant responsibility. He showed flashes, energy, confidence, but the numbers are concerning. He is 0 for 17 from 3 his last 6 games. That is not a small slump. That is a warning. With the postseason approaching, can Boston afford to develop through mistake, or will experience take priority? Then there is Jordan Walsh, 18.2 minutes per game, 20 starts. Early opportunity, but momentum faded. Josh Minott was traded at the deadline. Walsh stayed, yet his impact has not solidified his place. With a team option for the 2026-27 season, decisions are coming. Development has a timeline. Patience has limits. Here is the core issue. When Tatum steps back into heavy minutes at the 3, the 4, even small ball 5, someone moves out. This is not theoretical, this is rotation, and as the Celtics push toward the playoffs, sentiment will not decide role. Performance will, so the real question becomes urgent. When Jayson Tatum is fully cleared and ready to reclaim his spot, which of these 3 players loses his place completely in Boston? And is this the moment that quietly reshapes the future of the Celtics bench? The NBA expansion conversation is back on the table, and for the Boston Celtics, this is not just a headline. It is a potential, painful decision. Reports indicate that the Board of Governors could vote this summer on adding 2 new franchises, with Seattle and Las Vegas seen as the favorites. If that process moves forward, an expansion draft would follow, and that is where the pressure begins. In the last expansion format, each team was allowed to protect 8 players. Everyone else became available. For a shallow roster, that is manageable. For a deep contender like Boston, that becomes complicated. The Celtics have invested in young talent, manageable rookie scale contract, and rotational depth that supports a championship window. Depth wins in April and May, but in an expansion draft, depth becomes exposure. Let's be direct. Boston would protect its core without hesitation. The real tension is on the margin. Young contributors on team-friendly deals suddenly become attractive targets. And history shows that teams can only lose one player, but losing the wrong one can reshape the bench for years. Consider Hugo Gonzalez, 19 years old, entering year 2 of his rookie-scale contract. Developmental upside, energy, long-term control. Leaving him unprotected would be a risk. Then there is Baylor Shireman, 25 years old, year 3 of his rookie-scale deal, showing real growth on both ends and earning trust within the system. And Jordan Walsh, 21 years old, year 4, athletic profile, defensive tools, still untapped potential. You cannot protect everyone. One of these names could be exposed. This is where the decision becomes painful. Do you prioritize polish over upside, immediate reliability over long-term projection, financial flexibility over raw talent? An expansion draft forces clarity, and clarity can cost you a player who becomes valuable elsewhere. If the vote passes and the timeline accelerates toward the 2026 season, Boston will face a defining internal debate. And here is the urgent question. When the Celtics are forced to choose only 8, which promising piece are they willing to gamble on losing? And will that decision quietly impact their championship window more than anyone expects? If you want more direct analysis like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the hype button right now. The next major decision in Boston could be closer than it looks.